Hey everybody, it's Joy. I have been to a Classical Conversations practicum this week, and I wanted to share with you what I purchased. So if you are brand new to Classical Conversations, just know that you do not need to have all of this stuff. Basically, you just need your foundations. It's called United States curriculum now because that's a little confusing to people because the third cycle in Classical Conversations is the United States, but that's the focus, like the history focus. But now we have curriculum for Canada and the UK and other countries. So it is called the United States curriculum now. So this was a brand new book. It came out, it's the 5th edition. And I bought this earlier in the spring, so I didn't actually buy this in at the recent practicum I went to, but I already had that. So that's not really included in this haul because I am going to tell you how much I spent. There are a couple more things that I probably want to buy. One is a handwriting book, actually maybe 2 handwriting books for my kids. But other than that, I think I have what I need for the year. Now, this is we are entering our 7th year of CC, and so I have pretty much everything. However, there is, they tweaked a lot of things this year. So I went ahead and I bought a new set of CDs, which I was ready for them because my old CDs were kind of scratched up. We listen to these a lot in our van. I just keep them in our van, honestly. And what I also do is I download them to my computer. So I have these songs so I can play them, like we have a computer in our schoolroom, so I can just play them and pull them up whenever I need. Sometimes I might put them on my phone rather than my computer this year. No, probably not, because I try not to use my phone while we're doing school, so it's just easier to have them on the computer. So I do that, and then I keep the set of CDs in my car, and they have changed some of the skip counting songs and just a couple of other things on there. They've added to them, so each of the skip counting places now go to 15 places. The other thing I purchased was a set of these memory work flashcards. Again, not anything you need, but I find these really helpful, especially if you have a child who's working towards Memory Master. And what I really love, especially for my oldest son this year, because I give him this ring, and he goes over them. But if you can see, this year they've actually added the multiplication tables on the back, which I am a big fan of because I had a couple of other items that I had for him looking at the multiplication packs, and I had flashcards and all this stuff. This is really great. I'm excited about these. I haven't looked through all of the other things. Some of the science was changed for this year. I don't think any of the Latin. I'm not sure about English. But it's just really awesome. I love how they have it. The colors are different than the last time. Last time history was orange, and I believe now history is this like teal color. So anyways, I have a big ring with all of my cards on, and this is just going to go in my oldest son's drawer, and he can review whatever, subjects that I have down for him to review for that day. So the next thing is for my oldest son again, who is in Essentials. He needed the new IEW book. And again, if you've been through Essentials for Cycle 1 before, they have updated this book, so it would probably be beneficial to purchase it again. I did not buy the teacher guide this year. This is going to be our 3rd year through Essentials. I highly recommend the teacher guide for the first year, just to kind of understand and get your feet wet with your kid and make sure that you're doing it right. I really appreciated it the first year through. Some people really like it every year. I just personally found that the first year I really needed it. I purchased it again last year thinking I would use it as much as the first year, and I never cracked it open. So I felt confident enough to do it on my own. So this year I just bought the student guide, or the student book. So the next thing I like to purchase for my children, again, not necessary, you can just make copies out of your Foundations guide for your at-home use of the maps. So these are the maps. You can just make a copy and use them at home, like put them in a dry erase sleeve or laminate them or whatever. But for my oldest son, I really like the trivium table, and it changed enough. I had the trivium table and I have these other maps from when we've been through this cycle before, but I compared them and they were different enough that I actually just tossed my old ones and I repurchased the maps for this cycle. So It's just a really good colorful map. It's a trivium table is what these are called. They make them for Latin, they make them for English, they have them for a lot of different subjects, math, all kinds of things. So that is for my oldest son. For my younger two, I actually purchased a set of these colored maps for our at-home use, and a set comes with, I have 3 children, so I only purchased one set, and it actually comes with 2 maps of that and then 2 maps of Africa. So this is plenty. I will put one set in my middle son's drawer and one set in my daughter's drawer, and then they will be taken care of with maps. And both of those maps that you just saw are both in this trivium table. So this is it for my oldest son. What I'm hoping to do is the next time I go through this cycle, my younger son will use, oh, I'm getting a glare. My younger son will use this map, this trivium table, and my daughter will probably still use the colored maps. And I just might, give the other set of colored maps to someone else. But that is what my plan is for geography for classical conversations. The last things I purchased from the Practicum bookstore were these 3 books, and these are Challenge A books. This is Amos Fortune Freeman, The Secret Garden, and A Gathering of Days, a New England's Girl Journal. So I actually purchased, this is my thought process. Challenge has a pretty big book. It's very book heavy, and it's very it's kind of more, well, it's a lot more expensive as far as buying curriculum and books and things like that. So what I've done the past few years is each year I've gone, I've purchased 1 or 2 of the challenge books, and so I pretty much finished out all of the Challenge A books this year, and then next year I'll just have to go through, make sure I have everything, purchase the Latin and different things like that, and then I'll be good to go. So it won't be such a huge I have to pay how much for the books and all of that. I mean, it's not terrible, but it is more than what you would spend on foundations. So, or essentials. So I really had wanted to build that up because my son goes into Challenge A, not this year, but next year. So that is what I always like to purchase when I'm there. I would highly recommend you guys go to a Classical Conversations Practicum if you are taking part in CC. It is so good to just be able to converse with other moms, hit up the bookstore, not have to pay for shipping, all of those kind of things. Get to browse the bookstore. It's really fun to look ahead at the challenge books and see the amazing literature that they're going to read. And the best part of all is just to hear this speaker. I love that part every year because I am not too challenged. And so our speaker this year just graduated her oldest son out of Challenge 4, and it was really exciting to hear she had no issues with her son's transcript. She had no issues with him taking Latin and them using that as a foreign language. It was just really cool to hear that transition from high school to college and how pretty easy it was, and how CC makes it really quite user-friendly. So that was really fun. And beyond that, I just love hearing the testimonies from other people about how their kids make these connections through some of the memory work that they've learned in CC. It's just really, really cool. So I would highly encourage you to go if you have never been, or if you've been once and you're kind of like me. They changed the topic every year, so this year it was actually Latin, and that was really exciting because as much as I love foreign language and I am super duper sold out on the fact that my children need to learn a second language, and we take Spanish and we do Latin through CC, sometimes Latin you're just why? But it is truly the base of so many different languages, and so it makes it easier once they learn that to then dive into another language if they want to later on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this haul. I did spend about $125 on all of that stuff. I did not include this foundations guide. I believe this is about $99. Let me just check. Yes, $99. So if you want to, if you really are just quite questioning what you need to start with, if that's why you watched this video, I'm sorry, I totally blew past that. But this foundations guide and a tin whistle. That is all you need to purchase for your first year. That's all I purchased. Unless you're going to tutor, then you need the timeline cards and things like that. But that is really, seriously, all you need for the first year. If you are like me and you kind of like the extras, they are there for you. But if you just have a budget and that's all you can purchase, then that is all you need to buy. So I love that aspect of CC. They offer the cool other like things that I've added to our program each year, our school, but you really don't have to purchase those things. Like, it is pretty much all provided in the guide. The other thing I would say that would be really, really helpful would be to buy the CDs, because they do have like some math songs, and those have changed, like I said, this year. And they do have the history songs, they have Latin songs. So let's see, is that it? They have math, Latin, and timeline and history. So there's actually 4 different subjects that are put to song, and they're all on this CD. And I don't believe there's really any other place you can get all of those together. So if you have any questions, you can sure put them down below, but I would love to hear from you guys if you've been to Practicum yet this summer, or if you're looking forward to going, what your favorite parts are, because it is kind of hard sometimes to carve that time out of your summer. I love it. Like, I've always loved it, so I have no issues, but I know there's other people who are like, I can't get to it, and is it really worth it? So leave your comments below about why you love it, or your struggles if you're kind of thinking, I'm not sure if it's worth it. I would love to help you see some, different ways to look at it if you'd like to. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.